This morning on The Dish, food production for the people. Farmers markets have proved to be invaluable during the pandemic by offering fresh food, often in open-air environments. And in one state, it's becoming even easier to sell homemade, locally sourced food thanks to a law passed 5 years ago. Janet Shamlian has the story.
In Jordan Addison's Gillette, Wyoming kitchen, the idea of getting government off his back all comes down to peanut butter. How he makes it,
add the salt and oil.
How he packages it,
The particular peanuts I'm using roughs about a pint.
and then how he sells it.
And I'm operating under Wyoming Food Freedom Act, which allows me just to make it from the house to the consumer.
Addison doesn't need his jars inspected or weighed, and they're not subject to any government oversight. He just delivers it to this co-op, where customers buy it directly.
These would be eggs laid by a local hen, and her and her sisters did all this yesterday.
Frank Wallace is unofficially in charge of Gillette's Farmers Co-op. Almost everything here, from the honey to Jordan Addison's peanut butter, was made in someone's kitchen or on a nearby farm.
We have about 25 different local vendors in there. Some of them are pretty good sized, and some of them sell $10 or $15 worth of product a week.
Wyoming's food freedom law allows people to sell directly to others without regulation. From salsa to sauerkraut and pastries to pickles. Even meat, though it's the one item that must be processed in a licensed facility.
Right now we have 9 beef at the butcher.
Wallace says there hasn't been a single case of illness tied to the local food movement since the law passed in 2015.
We don't have to totally depend on the valley in California where if the rail car is contaminated, then thousands of people are sick. If it gets sick here, it's 1 or 2 people. It hasn't happened.
Lynn Newsom is delivering goat's milk, which she says helped in her husband's cancer recovery.
It just told me on what goat's milk can do, and so I want to help other people. And, I mean, what better reason is there than that?
Since Wyoming's food freedom went into effect, North Dakota, Utah, and Maine have followed with similar laws. Other states have loosened restrictions.
We're not putting the big box stores out of business yet, but we're making a dent and people are appreciating local foods.
But what's made in Wyoming has to stay local. To keep the Food and Drug Administration out, homemade food can't be sold online.
$11.50, please.
Judy Leggett both works in the co-op and buys groceries here.
We have less issues because there is less chance of contamination because you don't haul it for thousands of miles. You don't have 18 different companies handling it.
So why are there food laws in the first place?
The Food and Drug Administration was sort of founded to ensure that there was transparency from that perspective, and consumers knew what was in the food product.
Sujata Sirsat is a professor and food safety expert at the University of Houston.
There is an area of opportunity where we can find some sort of middle ground, right? Where you sort of make it easy, sure, for vendors to be able to sell direct to consumer, but you also provide them resources to do it in a safe manner.
At this tiny market in a city of 30,000, business is brisk. Across the country, demand for local food is surging, the number of farmers markets doubling in the last decade. But food lobbies are doubling down, trying to make sure what's happening in Wyoming doesn't spill across the border to Montana or other states.
If I had my cow here, we could milk it out and sell you some. 40 miles north of here, they're going to almost try to throw you in jail for doing the same thing.
For CBS This Morning Saturday, I'm Janet Shamlian.